this is sort of this awful heart of the book. It's so laced with mortality, and yet transcendence. So it's okay. How many pages is it? It is long. This is the longest piece in the book. It's from 119 to 146. So that's 27 pages. This is the monster, you know. And so a guy bought the book, and he started here, you know. He got to this, and he read it cover to cover, and he said, you know, I got into the Intermezzo, and it was just such a downer. Should I even continue? And I thought, you poor devil. And he forgot that he said that. But it's, you know, I'm completely fearless about talking about mortality, death. So this is the Intermezzo, you know. This was this big chunk, and I put it right in the middle of the book, and so I called it Intermezzo, the Incandescence of Odysseus. So here's the the Central Asian connection. Tashkurgan is a place on the border of Xinjiang, and right at the border of northern China, northern Pakistan and southern, and Xinjiang, China. And Boré is an island in the Outer Hebrides in Scotland, the far west coast of Scotland, that once was inhabited. In the 1930s, it was inhabited by unbelievably isolated people who made a living off of collecting birds' eggs and climbing cliffs in their bare feet. Rock cliffs, islands that couldn't be reached sometimes for weeks at a time because of rough seas. One year they got, several guys got trapped there, and they lived there for months on birds' eggs in clefts in the rocks, and they all survived. Okay, so that's Boré. Boré is in the Outer Hebrides. All right. Intermezzo, the Incandescence of Odysseus. From Tashkurgan to Boré, 1,000 cyst graves lie astride the wasted track. From all the slaughter and vile bloodletting beneath and within the walls of Troy did Odysseus turn and sail, to dissolve in voyage by land, to dissolve in voyage by sea, to dissolve in millennia of Wanderungen in the island sea of Asia's heart, beyond Bactria and Tokharistan, the stony sea of deserts and mountains and peoples and time, where sink and vanish the armadas of empire. Then bound from here to the western seas, let be born on this road the death-damaging Odysseus, the illumined, luminous Gaelic Odysseus, of Ereshkigal born, of Luch sired. I am incarnate menace to flight from body, from earth, from primal kinship, menace to all escape and ascent away from heart, save only that pledged to the fall from a high place into the bottomless abyss of ultimate heart. Any more, you never know when an initiation will be entered, when a threshold of initiation will present itself and you will cross it. It will be a frisson, that shiver of mortal wonder at the faint sense of a mystery uncovered. But probably only looking back will you recognize the enormity of that step. And the more thresholds you cross, the more initiations you enter, the more they will begin to fill your life. A checkered Odysseus lived storm-tossed and wind-blown from one mystery and initiation to another. The shiver is that ancient Roman awe of the numen encountered at the threshold. But the initiatory threshold is a one-way phenomenon. You can never go back. You can't recross the snow devil's path backwards and abolish the change and discovery, nor can you reverse the flow of the terrible birth-giving that is the course of the Stikine River. This is the shape of the totality of the life we know. It flows one direction. The flower flows inexorably toward blossoming and bearing its sacred fruit, its trembling, adoring gift. We can pretend for years that we are not like flowers, turning back from all the thresholds and withholding our ripening, our blossom, our gift. But ultimately, we will be forced to the threshold of our dying, from which we shall not turn back, and this alone will force the blossom. But there is a riddle here. For what purpose shall the stream of life have the shape of thresholds that can only be crossed one way? I think it is nothing less than a demonstration of the ecstatic imperative of sacrifice, of making the ante, of making an offering at a threshold that is veiled in total mystery, and then entering in surrender and unknowing into the veil. The whole shape of our life is directed toward the expression and fulfillment of surrendering love and loving surrender, toward ripening and blossoming and presenting our trembling, adoring gift. Ultimately, with practice, perhaps all thresholds will be recognized and welcomed as no less than occasions of falling into annihilating, unknowing, abandoned, joyous love. Then shall we not fear, but love passionately, wonderingly, and without limit. Odysseus enters the life of limitless, unknowing sacrifice and initiation, boundless, abandoned, and ecstatic on the wine-dark sea. Poi kilo throne athanot Aphrodita. See the sun in an oxygen blue sky dome. See the wine-dark sea and the luminous, illumined tree of light and fire that is a man standing in a small, lost boat.